Okay, am I clear and is the PowerPoint viewable?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you, darlings. Okay, so today our topic is Tri-Guna. Tri means three, Guna means modes. Yeah, so we want to see how the modes control our daily lives. And later on, we want to see how are we going to transcend these three modes. Transcend means come above that, come beyond that. Okay. Okay, anybody can sing Radha Madhava? Would like to volunteer? We can sing, we can try to follow. Vendan, I've been seeing you for some time already. Do you know how to sing Radha Madhava song? No? Is your mic working? I can't. Let me check that. Okay. Okay. Anybody? Prahlad or Shiva Shankari? Anyone? Jai Radha Madhava? Do you all have kartal with you? Prahlad? Is your mic working? Oh, your mic is not working? Okay, let me sing, yeah. Okay, you try to follow. You can unmute and you can follow, okay? Okay, no problem, all right? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Y'all can try to follow, yeah, it's okay if the mic is overlapping. Jaya Radha Jaya
Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya
Jaya Gopi Nanavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya
Jaya
Girivaradari
Jaya Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamunatiravanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamunatiravanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari.
Right, thank you. Can somebody read paragraph 1? Another person can read paragraph 2 for us, please.
Okay, Mataji, can I read the
Can.
paragraph 1? Okay. Krishna is the lover of Radha. He displays many amorous pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. He is the lover of the cowherd maidens of Raja and the holder of the great hill named Govardhan.
Another person for paragraph 2?
Mataji, can I read?
Can.
He is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the delighter and of the inhabitants of Raja, and he wanders in the forest along the bank of the river Yamuna.
Thank you. Okay, so this is a very special song, even though it's a very short song. It has everything about Krishna. That Krishna is the lover of Radha. He displays pastimes in Vrindavan. He's the lover of the cowherd maidens of Vraja, which are the gopis, and he held Govardhan hill on his left pinky finger, and he is the son of Mother Yashoda. Okay, he gives pleasure to all the Vrajavasis, inhabitants of Vraja, and this is what he does. He does spotting along the banks of River Yamuna. So this is how Prabhupada explained that this song we sing before any of our classes, because it describes everything about Krishna in one nutshell. Okay, so this song is given to us by Bhakti Vinod Thakura here. The author's name is here. Okay, thank you very much for participating. So we offer prayers to spiritual teachers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vikna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Can I have everybody to chant 3 times? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
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 Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama, Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
One more time.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
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 Rama, Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Thank you, everybody. Haribol. So we have started our class with the blessings of the spiritual teachers so that they can give us the understanding as we go through the lesson. Okay, this chapter, right? You know, Bhagavad-Gita is divided into 3 sections, like a sandwich. So we have the bun on the top, and then we have all the ingredients inside, right, in the middle. And then we have another bread layer at the bottom. So Bhagavad-Gita is like that. 18 chapters, right? So 6 chapters, 6 chapters, 6 chapters. The first 6 chapter is about karma yoga and everything. The middle one is bhakti yoga. The last one is jnana yoga, comprised of 6 chapters. So this lesson that we are going to learn today is on the 3rd layer, is on jnana yoga. So jnana means knowledge. So as you know, knowledge means it has some technical terms and philosophies, but we need that to advance in bhakti. All right. So this is required. So therefore, I request you all have a very comfortable sitting, away from distractions, so we can, give our focus and attention to this. So we pray that the Lord and the previous acharyas give us the understanding. So basically, to translate, what is this 3 modes? 3 means 3, right? 3 means 3. Modes means gunas. Gunas means characters or qualities. Okay, gunas means qualities. So these are subtle forces that influence a few things in our life. Okay, anybody's mic is unmuted. Just check on that. Yeah. Okay. Yi Ju Yu, welcome. 3 modes mean 3 gunas. These are subtle forces that influence few things in our lives. So what are those? My mic is okay. Right. Behavior, physical. These are all our behaviors, right? Behavior, our physicals, attributes, or our mental, our mentality, and our emotion. All these are controlled by these 3 modes, these 3 qualities. Okay, so these are subtle forces that influence our behavior, as well as every aspect of our physical, mental, and emotional world. Okay, so the Sanskrit term for these forces is guna or rope, and the Gita explains how they pull us to act in various ways, even against our better judgment. Okay, sometimes we are forced to do certain things, so we want to know why. Okay, you can see the 3 ladies here. One is yellow, one is red, one is blue. Okay, so they are using all these ropes to control us, like a puppet show, right? So they move this, we move our hand, they move this, we move our leg, and then our head also moves accordingly. So these are the influence of 3 modes. So if you see in chapter 14, like I say, the third layer of Bhagavad-Gita is from 13 to 18. So this whole 6th chapter, Krishna will be talking about different aspects of these 3 modes, different philosophies on these 3 modes. So mainly the 3 more information on these 3 modes are coming from chapter 14. Okay, so right now, you all can have a general idea. What are these 3 modes? Mataji keeps saying about 3 modes. Okay, these are goodness, passion, and ignorance. So this is the very first and foremost information for those who are very new. So for your benefit, you try to look at this: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, all right. Then Krishna will be talking about various things. These are some of the things that Krishna will explain. What are these 3 modes? He will literally list out what are these 3 modes in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and how they act upon us, and how we transcend them, we go beyond them, we cross this. And then after we transcend, what are the symptoms that we are expected to display, like that. So these are the main things that we will cover. Okay, so what are those? Overview, how the modes condition us. What are the characteristics in this mode that actually binding us, okay, in these 3 modes. Okay, next is we will see the characteristics, how it influences our action, what is the destination of people when they die in these 3 modes. Okay, so there are 3 modes in eating, sacrifice, austerity, charity. All these activities also can be categorized into 3 modes. Okay, finally, transcending the 3 modes. After we know, we have a problem statement. You all have done science experiments, right? So we have a problem definition. How you define your problem statement? You have a goal, but you have these constraints, and you want to achieve a success in that certain experiment or project. So this is a well-defined problem statement. When you see a problem, you don't jump into conclusion immediately, because you probably will be dealing with only the symptoms, but you will not be going into the root cause. So that is why in science, you always, when you do a project paper, right, you have the problem statement, and then you have all the abstracts and everything, right? So same thing, same approach we apply on this. We want to find out what is the problem, what is the root cause, and how are we going to transcend them. That is the purpose of us learning this. Okay, so this is the repetitive summary from the beginning of the slide. Okay, so Krishna actually will start the chapter 14 by saying that, okay, now I am going to declare to you the supreme wisdom, and this is the best of all knowledge. And the evidence why this is the best of knowledge and how it works, it is because the sages have used this knowledge and they have attained supreme perfection. So Krishna is not simply giving some theory which is not proven. So sometimes he uses this kind of testimonies, all right, evidence to show the mankind that this is achievable. This is the way to move forward. Okay, and why are we learning this? Because by understanding how these 3 modes is conditioning is, it becomes a powerful tool for us. All right, it will become the impetus for us to walk on the path of self-realization. Like I said, if you have a problem, and that will be your inspiration, that will be your motivation to walk this path of self-realization. So knowing this, understanding how this whole thing works, should motivate us on the path of self-realization. Okay, if we don't have a problem, we'll never find a solution. All right, so that is why we want to learn this, use this as a knowledge, as a powerful tool. Okay, this is where Krishna is listing out the 3 modes. Can somebody read for me the translation only? Should I go by the alphabetical order here? Abhay, Charan?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, darling. Read the translation only, yeah?
Material nature consists of 3 modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty arm, Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes.
Okay, conditioned by these 3 modes. Okay, thank you, Abhi. All right, so Krishna already listed out here. There are 3 modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. Okay, So this is very brief, okay? I just wanted to show you what are the three modes. And then Krishna says, when we come here, we come as a pure soul. As we mingle with this material nature and we interact with these three modes, the binding factors inside it makes us a conditioned soul. So can you see how as a pure soul, from pure soul, we become conditioned because of this interaction with these three modes. Actually, in chapter 13, Krishna will talk about so many elements, all the working senses, the five senses and the Panchabhutas, all that. He will list out everything so technically. So if you look at chapter 13, it's like going through a science subject, but more expanded. Krishna will talk about so many other things as well. He will talk about the subtle body element as well. Now we have all the five senses, right? And then Krishna will talk about how are the working senses, like our hands and our legs and everything. So using all these elements, when we interact with the material nature, we become conditioned souls. Okay, when we die, we only shed the gross body. But even after that, our soul, accompanied by the subtle element, false ego, mind, intelligence. All right, this will go on to another life. So this one I will tell you later. All right, okay, and these are the modes that actually force us to feel our existence in this material world, and through this you can experience various emotions. Okay, so you can understand that with these three modes, you are able to feel all these, it will result in various experiences and emotions. And this will influence you, your future actions. Okay, so this one also we will see slowly. This is like an overview for you. Okay, so you have these three colors here. I will explain to you why there are three colors here. And then this is like a sani, right? You mix this color and this color, you get this color. So why Mataji, why got color lessons here? So we will see that. Okay, now we will go into understanding what are the characteristics in all these three modes respectively. Okay, so first we go to goodness. Let me have somebody to read for me, please. Darshini 99. So there are two Darshinis here. Mataji, are you able to? Yes, thank you.
Mataji.
Just the translation will do, yeah?
All right. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mood become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge.
Okay, so the examples are given below. So now these are the characteristics of somebody in the mode of goodness. So the quality of the mode of goodness itself is better than passion and ignorance. So always remember goodness, passion, and ignorance. So it's purer, it's the best of all among the three modes. And it's illuminating. Why it is illuminating? Because people in this mode, they are actually filled with knowledge. Okay, so this is illuminating. And because they have the knowledge, they are able to discriminate. I mean, this is generally, right? When you have a knowledge, you are able to discriminate between bad and good, negative and positive, right and wrong. So because of this, these people are situated in the mode of goodness. So examples are brahmanas, scientists, philosophers, poets. So these are people all having very a life on the mode of goodness, meaning there's no crime or criminal activities at this mode of goodness. Okay, but in this verse itself, Krishna is giving two things. One, he defines the characteristics of this mode of goodness, and then he provides the binding factor in the mode of goodness. So I have highlighted for you. The binding factor in this mode of goodness is happiness and knowledge. Why, Mataji? What is so wrong being happy and having knowledge? Why? Is because people in the mode of goodness, because they have this knowledge, they find that, all right, everything is fine, everything is all right, I have everything that I need to do, I'm not engaged in abominable activities. And then the sense of pride comes in, the sense of satisfaction comes in, the sense of complacency comes in. So life after life after life, they are going to come back in that mode of goodness, doing the same thing that they are doing. Okay, in short, I can give you some examples like, let's say a person has been in the mode of goodness his entire life. Let's say a musician, like it is mentioned that, who knows this musician, the one plays sitar, I forgot his name, Ravi Shankar, right? So Ravi Shankar, do you know, the daughter is Nora Jones, right? So this Ravi Shankar, he is said to have taken birth like 7 times or 9 times, and he kept coming as musician because he's there, he's complacent. I mean, these kind of people are complacent. That is why you see some people, when they are born, they are already very good musicians, like Lydia Nadaswaran can play with 2 hands, right? Two, not just 2 hands, I mean 2 pianos at once. And then you have children born like can do mathematical calculation, even the calculator can burst, that one. And what else? Can you think of somebody who is born and already exhibiting super ordinary power that not normal people could do? I mean, normally we will go to kindergarten, we will learn everything, right? But some people, they don't have to. They jump so many grades. And some people can go to a PhD, do a PhD at Oxford at what, 12 years old? So we have these kind of people because they carry the impression from their previous life and they have been in the mode of goodness. So mode of goodness means you must understand knowledge. Okay, so this is how they apply their knowledge. However, they don't want to move forward. So they are happy with that. And then it's bad when the sense of pride comes in. They feel like they are more superior to others. So these are the binding factors in the mode of goodness. Okay, so I can't go deep because this is not a real Bhagavad-Gita class. And then we will go to the next mode. The next mode, oh yeah, so I will just underline this, right? This 3. Mode of passion. Can I have somebody to read if I want to go? Okay, Darshini, another Darshini.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, translation, yeah.
The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So there are some characteristics of mode of passion, which are unlimited desires and longings. Now, the mode of passion is likened, right? It's like the attraction between a male and female, but it is not the definition of the mode of passion. Means you are attached or you have an intense desire for something more than necessity, then that is a mode of passion. And when you have this mode of passion, you always want to be engaged in doing something in order to get something in return. Okay, it could be a work, people work so hard, like a workaholic to get promotion and good money, or a businessman, work so hard at the cost of certain other things. All right, so they are bound to this material work through this material fruitive action. So try to recap. Mode of goodness, they are bound to this material world through knowledge and happiness. Okay. All right. Passion through unlimited desires and longings or attachments. Okay. The characteristic is they are attached to this material fruitive action. They want to do something because they want to get some fruit. Yeah. So this is the binding factor here. Unlimited desires and longings. Okay, so we have to be careful at this level here because we want to move upward to goodness. We don't want to glide down to ignorance. At the mode of passion here, you are like you have a 50-50 chance that you can still utilize your knowledge to make a decision. Okay, in ignorance, it becomes very difficult. I'll tell you why. So you can see here, yeah, the characteristic is like an attraction between man and woman. This is just an example. This is not the whole definition. You could be passionate about a lot of other things. Like what? TV, heavy metal rock. What else? Shopping, eating, going out. Okay, so of course we can't do that now. Any other passion that we, yeah, football, car. Now you have given me the idea. Football, car, games. All right, what other passion? Yeah, these are the things, right? Okay. So it will, when you watch all this, when you come across all this, you have contact with all this, you will tend to be moved to do that. Because the moment your sense engages on it, then these are your working senses, right? Your hands and legs will also follow suit. Okay, because the action of the bodies comes later. The sense start working first. The mind and intelligence will start working first. Okay, so it's born of unlimited desires and longings. Okay, you want to keep doing something with laws is great, with great attachment, intense endeavor, and then you have uncontrollable desire. There's so much of hankering for it. Anything more than necessity is already on the passion mode. Okay, now we go to the third one. Yeah, Deva Sharmini. Can I request you to read, Ma?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the illusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
All right, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so these are the characteristics. Okay, so you can see this here. Is it echoing? Okay. Okay. So I can hear me again. Is somebody having two devices on? Okay. So you can see here, who's this? Siapa ni?
Drug addict.
Drug addict. So what does drug addict do? He's like perpetually sleeping, perpetually in drugs. He's totally delusional. They are not in the real world. Sometimes it's because they simply don't know what is right, what is wrong. So this kind of people is very difficult to make effort on their own. And they will continue to do what are they accustomed to do. So this is totally opposite to the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, we are illuminated with knowledge. In the mode of ignorance, we are devoid of this knowledge. Okay, so it's born of, in the mode of darkness is also another word for ignorance. Okay, is the delusion state of the embodied living entities. Why do we keep saying embodied? We, the living entity, originally is a soul. All right, when we assume this body, then we become embodied living entity. So I hope you can get the difference there. Okay. So what is the result of this mode? Madness, indolence, sleep. Okay, we can also add laziness, avoidance of activity. All right, indolence. Indolence is avoidance of activity, not doing anything. Okay, so totally opposite of goodness. People in the mode of goodness, they're happy, they have knowledge, they are not ignorant. Okay, and people in the mode of ignorance, what do they tend to do? Can I have some points? What do they do? How they maintain their life? People in the mode of goodness. Okay, like knowledge, you know, you have like, you know, educators or poets or philosophers, scientists and all that. And then in the passion, people are workaholic. They work. Work is worship for them. And what do they do? What is the danger of people in the mode of ignorance? Can I have some points? What is the danger of people staying in this mode? What do the drug addicts do? What do they?
Lazy people.
Sorry, Prabhu?
Lazy people.
Lazy, okay.
They become lazy.
Yeah, okay, correct. Demonic activity, yes. Like what, Mataji? What do we have? What kind of activity falls under this activity? I mean, coming from people under this activity, what do they do?
Eating rotten foods.
Okay. Abuse, yeah, especially people under the abuse, under the influence of alcohol, right? They tend to abuse people. Drug also same. They rob, they kill, they murder. So they are actually disturbance to the society. So this is the lowest mode. All right. And if these people not going to make a progress to the mode of, yeah, they hurt themselves or hurt other, that's very good. Sanglisha Mataji. Sorry, Shama Sundari Mataji. Yeah, so they hurt themselves and they hurt others. Okay, so people under the mode of goodness, they don't do this because they know what is right, what is wrong. Okay, so these people, if they don't help themselves, which is very unlikely, if they don't accept, and sometimes they don't even accept when people call them to, hey, come for some, spiritual class, come take prashadam, come join the kirtan, and they will decline the invitation. So these kind of people, they're totally in the mode of ignorance. So how do we help them? That is why, activities like Radha Yatra is taken out, and we give free prashadam, like the Food for Life program is like the what? Soup kitchen? Yeah, this is our ISKCON soup kitchen activity. So this is the only way we can get through to them. Otherwise, we cannot get them to sit and hear. It's pretty tough, right? Because sometimes when they know, oh, this is some knowledge-based thing, spiritual thing, they would decline. All right, so that is mode of ignorance. And then oversleeping. 10 to 12 hours a day, 5 days they work, Saturday, Sunday, sleep. I'm going to enjoy my life, sleep. Yeah, that is mode of ignorance. All right, addicted to intoxicants and feeling always dejected, always feeling down, feeling dejected. This is mode of ignorance. Atheists. But Mataji, there are atheists, they are vegetarian, they do not engage in abominable activities, they don't do negative activities. It's just that they don't worship God, but their life is moral, very moral, not immoral. All right, they can be in the mode of goodness. They can be in the mode of goodness. For example, Einstein. How do you place Einstein? He's in the mode of goodness. All right, but he's not ignorant. He's atheist. I do not have a proof, even though he believes in superior power, but I don't see him quoting a god or religion. He believes in somebody superior, but he doesn't have a religion. So I don't know, he's atheist or not, right? So they can be in the mode of goodness. He was Jewish, is it? I've not seen him any evidence that he is praising Jehovah or something like that. All right, and so one time I asked Guru Maharaj, because I have a sister who has this kind of lifestyle. Whatever I'm doing, she is doing, except that she doesn't worship any god. So I asked, because these people think this is a very solid example of people in the mode of goodness. She's educated, she's got a good job, she's got a very good family, she's a great mother, she's a great wife, and she's not very materialistic, and she's vegetarian, she doesn't take intoxicants, she doesn't gamble, she doesn't cheat, she's everything. So I asked Guru Maharaj, when these kind of people think my life is good, I don't see why I need to worship God. My life is good, I'm happy. Then Guru Maharaj said, yes, this is life of goodness, in the mode of goodness, but it is not pure goodness. And these kind of people, like what I say, they're probably going to come back in like a better family, or because of their pious activity, they're going to go in higher planets and they're going to come back in good family again, a rich family again, an educated family again, but the cycle will continue. So what is the solution for this kind of people? Right, so you need to differentiate these three modes, and atheists, non-atheists, and devotional service. So this is the knowledge that we can apply, how to differentiate these people. Okay, so it's good, the life is good, but this is the binding factor. Like I say, they're satisfied, they're complacent. Okay, they don't find that I'm fine, Yes, that's right, Lakshmi Mataji, correct. Right, so we will see what is the difference that we can make to transcend this. Okay, so I'm going to quickly recap this. Yeah, we have three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then we learn about binding forces, and then we learn about the characteristics or symptoms, which are basically how these people behave under these three modes. And then we get the result. So people under the mode of goodness, they have a sense of happiness, satisfaction, knowledge, superiority. So all this we covered just now. You can add on pride, sense of pride also. Definitely, isn't it? All right, and for people under the mode of passion, they are very attached to fruitive activities, and they are driven by the ropes of desire. All right, intense desire, hankering, longing. I want to do this. Work is worship. Go for it. Like that. Ignorant people in the mode of ignorance, they are bound by these qualities: madness, laziness, sleep. Okay. So how do they behave? They have knowledge, all right? And they do not engage in sinful reactions, sinful activities, okay? And in the mode of passion, okay, same thing, right? They have intense or unlimited desires and longings. They have great attachment, and their behavior is mostly revolving around fruitive activities. People in the mode of ignorance, they are delusional. They always live in the mode of darkness, madness, inertia. Inertia means no actions, right? No activity. So for people in the mode of goodness, what is their result? They are called pious people. All right, pious people can be in the mode of like they do good charity, they help others. These are all pious activities. You get good karmas. In the mode of passion, you end up having miseries. All right. Activities in the mode of passion, initially it will appear like nectar. Later, it will become so bitter. Like how? For example, alcohol. Initially, everything so tipsy and joyful and right. So there was one movie I saw this guy, he refused to take a drink from the friend. And the friend actually say, I'm not going to let you be sober in this party. I was like, is it a wrong thing to be sober? All right. So later on, you know, they overdrink and all the hangover comes, and then it's so miserious, right? So much of miseries. So this is the result of acting in the mode of passion. In the mode of ignorance, the result is foolishness, nothing else. Okay. And it's very difficult to make own endeavor to transcend this mode. Okay. All right. So if you want to know more, you can read chapter 13 from 13.8 to 12. So more explanation is there. Okay. This kind of knowledge actually can help us a lot and also can help others. All right. Learning this information is, yes, for us first. All right. And then it's important that we could share with others. So it will be very helpful for everybody. People think Bhagavad-Gita is a very religious book. It's all talking about prayers and everything. No, a lot of people are not aware what is the element, what is the core substance inside this Bhagavad-Gita. It's basically applicable for all, everybody. All right. So that's why Krishna never mentioned the word Hindu inside there or Indian inside there, nothing. All right. So try to remember this and then try to share with others. Okay. Any questions? Science. Yes, it's science. Science basically is knowledge. All right. So we have all these three modes, and then we have questions like, can someone possess all the three modes at once? You know, like sometimes I have goodness, sometimes I have passion, sometimes I have ignorance, sometimes I have everything. I also don't know what mode I am in. Yeah, so remember these colors, red, yellow, blue. So you would remember we learned this in Sunny last time, isn't it? Okay, so we are this. These are the three colors. Sometimes there is a mixture of sattva and rajas. Okay, these are the Sanskrit terms, sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva means, or sattvic means goodness. Okay. Rajas means passion. So represent this red color, by red color. Tamas means blue. Primary, yes, correct. Primary colors. Thank you very much. And then you have this orange, purple, green. That's secondary color, right? All right. So when you mix everything, you get a black. But it's not really pure black, right? If you learn, it's like very dark, brownish. So people say that is the color of Krishna also. Very, very blackish color. Okay, now back to our topic, right? So we always have the combination of these three. Okay, sometimes we say in the morning, we are in the mode of goodness. That is where it's very conducive for spiritual activity. You do your chanting and prayers and reading of the scriptures. So it helps you in that. And then towards the afternoon, until like probably late afternoon, you are in the mode of passion. People do a lot of work, a lot of thinking going on, right? And then after night, people go for drinking, bar, night out, all that. That is mode of ignorance. And also sleep, right? Because sleeping, right? Sleeping is ignorant. Of course, that's not bad, but it's a comparison how the mode changes even in a day. All right. And then like even in life cycle of us, right? When we are small, we don't know anything, like a child. Because the child is innocent, so it's in the ignorant mode, but it's innocence, so that is acceptable. So later on, we start going school and then working. We are so passionate. We want to work, save money, and then when we become old, we are more like, okay, I've done everything. Now time to settle down. So that is mode of sattvic already. So how you see how it's changing? The mode is changing in our life, and in a day's life, and in our life. Okay, so now you can tell that we are always under the combination of these three modes. But this is how Krishna explains it. Can somebody read for me? Durga Shri. Just the translation, is that okay? Are you there, Mataji? Okay, Drona. Can? I'm going like on the alphabetical order. Drona, are you there? Harshita? Can I have the English translation? Yudhishthira? King Yudhishthira. Okay, somebody's mic is not working, is it? Okay, no problem, Drona. Yudhishthira? Or anybody?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, just read for me
Translation,
the...
right?
Yes, yes.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance, O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness, ignorance, and other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In the way, there's always competition for supremacy.
Yes, so Krishna already said, sometimes the goodness is more prominent, sometimes the passion is prominent, sometimes ignorance becomes the prominent mode. So like this, there is always competition for supremacy. That's why sometimes you feel like, sometimes you feel very sattvic, suddenly you become so angry. Sometimes, I don't want to do anything, I just want to sleep. Yeah, so these are the three modes, how they always compete with each other. So we cannot say that, all right, now I have transcended ignorance. Now I'm going to transcend my passion. Then after that, I'm going to be in the goodness. All right, so Krishna said there is always a competition for supremacy. So we cannot stay idle thinking that we are progressing. Okay? Because the danger is we don't know in what mode we are going to die. All right, so we have somebody to read for us, please. Lakshmi Mataji, you read already, right, just now? Okay. Madan Mohan, can I hear you? Madan Mohan? Okay. Nanda Kumara? Ini semua masuk meeting pergi mana ni? Nanda Kumara, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, read the translation, darling.
When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in furtive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Thank you. So now you can see in a glance, we are saying that we cannot go so much into detail, right? So we want to ensure that we are dying in a proper mode. All right, if you die in the mode of ignorance, we don't know what kind of mode you are in when you're dying. For example, overdose of drug abuse. Oh dear, you really don't know what you are thinking. All right, in chapter 8, Krishna said, whatever thought you have at the time of that state, you're going to attain without fail. So you don't really have a control of your mind at the time of your death. Okay, and then when one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. Like what kind of example can you give me? Somebody? I'll give you one example. People die working. What else? What else? Just give me one very famous, and I'll ask this in my Gita Gyan level 1, batch 1, and level 2, level 1, batch 3. Both group gave me the same answer. Can you give me one example how a person could die in the mode of passion? Quick, 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 quick. We don't want to stay too long on this. Anyone? Hey, come on. Any example how a person could die in the mode of passion? I told you, right? Passion means intense desire, the longing, hankering, want to do something. Okay, let's see. Stress during sleep. I think that would be ignorance, huh, Mataji? I think that should be die in a fight. Yes. Okay, what else? Oh, this is something new I'm hearing now. What else? Very famous. Choking. Choking. Yeah, choking. It could be passion. All right, what else? How about car race? How did this guy die? What's his name? Alah, forgot lah. The Fast and Furious guy. What's his name? You guys watch Fast and Furious? The Vin Diesel's friend. Oh no. Okay. Come on, don't be shy. We are here to share information. Yeah, I totally forgot his name. Dom Toretto is the movie name. Paul Walker. Yes, correct. That's his real name, right? Is that the real name or the movie name? See, I don't even know their name.
His real name, Mataji.
Okay, yes. Paul Walker, how did he die? He died in a car crash, right? There you go. You don't even know what is the mental state. So this is all dying in the mode of passion. Okay, dying in the mode of goodness is when you die in like a auspicious timing. Hold on, auspicious timing, meditative mode, or you're surrounded by saintly people doing prayers like devotees, or dying in the holy places like Benares, Haridwar, Bank of Ganges. Yeah, but bear in mind, just by leaving our body on these holy places, it does not guarantee you to go to heavenly planets, provided you have the consciousness of that goodness. All right, so not only the physical setting is important, our mental setting is also important. So now you have like a general idea, right? So people can die in these three modes, and we want to help people. If they are not consciously in any of these modes, we want to be there for them. Of course, not in the pandemic situation. It's so pity that now people are dying alone in hospitals, you see. So at least we can pray that when we want to die, we're going to die. We want some people around us to chant for us, right? Because at the point of death, it seems we will have pain like stinging by I don't know how many thousand scorpions. It's really painful, and you cannot think, you cannot talk, you cannot hear, you cannot do anything. So at this point of time, we have to have people to help us to chant or read scriptures around us, so we can leave the body in the mode of goodness. Okay. Now, whatever it is, you have to understand that. Okay, like a recap here. Die in the mode of goodness, you attain the planet of the sages. In the passion, you're going to reborn among the people who are engaged in fluid activities. And dying in the mode of ignorance, you will be born in the animal kingdom. All right. Now, whatever it is, when you die in the mode of ignorance, whether you die in the mode of passion, when you die in the mode of goodness, if your consciousness is not, later I will tell you, it's not at the right place, you are going to take birth in different species of life. So there are 8.4 million species of life. And if you think human is the ultimate species, then you need to know that human species also have 400,000 species. It's all based on different consciousness. So whatever the impression that you're carrying from your activity, from your previous lives in the mode of goodness or passion and ignorance, it will be carried on by your subtle body to the next cross body, to your next life. Just like how Krishna is saying here, as the air carries aromas, if the air goes through, if the breeze, the wind goes through a garden of roses, then you have very nice, fragrant air. But if the air goes through a pile of garbage, then you're going to have a stinky air, stinky smell. All right, so that way, whatever activities we are performing in our lives, we're going to carry that impression forward. All right, so based on that, we will develop certain types of body, ear, eye, tongue, nose, sense of touch. So all this will be grouped like that, and you will be getting a type of body which you are destined to enjoy based on your previous lives. Okay, so we can forget our previous lives, but what we can do is we can make changes in our current life. how we want to do. If you realize that you are doing certain activities in the mode of ignorance, oh, this, I'm having this symptom, this 6 signs. I need to cut this and I want to transcend. It's good that you can go into passion gradually, or you can straight away go to goodness, or you can straight away go to transcendental. All right. So these are the knowledge that you are getting now to make changes in our lives. All right. Okay. This is actually a process of transmigration. You would have learned this in chapter 2. All right. Just like we shed our body and take another body, like how we change dress. And the detail is given here. All right. The chapter 2's verse detail is given here. So like this, these are connected. All right. So now we know already the problem and we know what is our destination if you're going to remain there. So Arjuna asked Krishna, okay, can I have somebody to read, please? Pavitra. Pavitra, are you there? Perarasi.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Pavitra. Yes, can.
Oh my dear Lord, about which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature?
Right. So now Arjuna already knows that he is not the body. Okay. And then he's asking, how do we come free from these three modes? And after one becomes free of these three modes, or after he transcends the three modes, how does he behave? Okay, so basically the question is here, how does he transcend the modes of nature? We all want to know, okay, now Mataji, we have a problem. I know already the symptoms. I know it's not good. Even though if I'm in the mode of goodness, I don't think I can get liberated just by being in the mode of goodness. Okay, I'm still going to come back. Probably I'm come back as a good human, but I'm still going to come back. I'm going to come back. I'm going to take birth. I'm going to grow old. I'm going to have diseases and I'm going to die. All right, this is the cycle. So we want a solution. All right, we want a solution to transcend the modes of nature. Okay, so to do something, to achieve something, we need to have prerequisites, qualifications. Okay, so if you want to be a master of science, let's hear from you. What is the prerequisite to go for master of science? You want to do a master's education. What you should have? What you should have? Before pergi buat master, what you should have? If you want to go for degree, what you should have? STPM, right? Right? Or SPM or SPM. What? Yeah. If you want to do masters, what do you do? What do you have?
Degree.
Yes, you have to have. Can you have a degree in education? What do you have? What you should have? Degree in science, right? Yeah.
Science and technologies.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. All right. So you need to have Bachelor of Science to do master's degree. All right. So in order to become a Master of Science, you have to at least have a bachelor's degree. All right. So similarly, to transcend this, you need to have a prerequisite. So I give you another example. You want to go to, okay, right now we cannot travel. I know so many of you are missing travels. Me too. All right. So I think I just renewed my password like a couple of years ago and I traveled only once. I hope we can travel soon, yeah, provided everything is fine. Now, what is the prerequisite to go to a place like New York? Can anybody else try? What do you need to do? What do you need? Where you need to be? What do you need to do?
You need visa. You need at least passport.
Lepas tu pergi mana? Need to know English. Airport. Correct. So once you're in the airport, boleh ke pergi New York? Is it sufficient? What do you need to do? You need to board the plane. You need to board. You cannot say, I'm living in airport. I can go to New York anytime I want. No, you need to have visa. You need to have the intention to go. You need to have
the ticket first.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Yes, you have to have all these prerequisites for you to fly. All right. So just by staying nearby the airport, you cannot say, oh, I'm staying nearby the airport. I can go anywhere I want. So you need to board the plane. So like that, to board the plane, to transcend the three modes, to go to the spiritual, to go back to Krishna, we need to have this prerequisite. Who can tell me out of these three modes, what is the prerequisite that we can use to go back to Godhead, to develop that transcendence? What is the prerequisite? Three modes. Out of the three modes, what is the prerequisite? Which will be easy to go to transcend? Very good, Deva Shamini. Yes. We need to be in the mode of goodness. Anybody else got the right answer? Very good, Lakshmi. Yeah. Okay. Again, recapping the symptoms, right? The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Okay. So we want to be here. This is our airport. This is our plane, mode of goodness. Okay. Why? Because otherwise it's difficult. All right. So how do we transcend? Can somebody read for us? Kishwani Hiram. Nice to meet you. First time seeing you. Kishwani, are you there?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Just read for me, Mataji.
Bhagavad-Gita 14.26. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life.
Thank you, Kishwani. Yes. So only when the embodied soul, again, remember, yeah, why we are called embodied? Because as a spirit soul, we have acquired a body to appear in this world, to function in this world. So we are called embodied soul, right? Or embodied being or embodied living entity. So I hope you have learned this term today, right? All right. To transcend these three modes. These three modes, basically, it's related to our material body, right? So only then we can become free from birth, death, old age, and distress. So whether you're in the mode of goodness or ignorance or passion, you are certainly going to go through these four cycles. And when you are able to transcend it, you don't have to wait to die to relish the benefit of it, that you can enjoy the nectar even in this life. Okay, so again, this mode of goodness, even though it's very conducive to attain devotional service, it is not the only target, because even in the mode of goodness, the living entity is not liberated, right? So the ultimate aim is to transcend all these three modes of material nature, so you'll be free from these the four characteristics here, all right? These are the four miseries. They're called four miseries of life. All right, and then only you will be situated in transcendence. Okay, so try to remember this. This is the point why we need to transcend. Otherwise, you're going to keep coming back and back and back. All right, so we need to have knowledge to do this. However, the knowledge that we have in this material world, the education given to us is just nice for us to move on our alma mater. Going to do your STPM ka, degree ka, college ka, master's ka. And then why? Because this knowledge is tailored for you to get a good job. And then when you go to a job, you are result driven. Whatever you do, it's based on result for promotion to achieve your KPI. KPI is a very regular term that you will see when you go to work. Key performance indicator. So they will set you like 10 items. So under the first item, you need to say, example is a sales, right? You need to achieve this much of a sale. And then number 2, you have to have quality sales. So these are all result driven. Everything is result. And then only later on, you have some value based, which is not given very good marks. This I'm telling you from my own experience, because the quantitative scoring comes when you achieve certain milestone in your work, how much you have achieved, how much you have completed. But you have the other component values, value-based achievement, but that's really not going to carry a lot of weight. And this is how the material world is gauging us. It's a sad thing. So that is why we are forced to act based on results. So everything has to be speed, fast, furious, and all fueled by all these. So how do we get the knowledge to transcend? It's like all these things is like binding us stronger and stronger and stronger into whatever activities that we are already doing. These are the forcing things. We are forced to do this. All right. Now, if everybody thinks that money is God, happiness is ultimate, and fun is everything, then why rich people are dying? You can see here. Aren't these people successful? I think you wouldn't know this guy. His name is Prince. Would anybody know him? It's pretty old. Even I've not seen him in person. By the time I know him, he's already dead or something. He died. Let me try to focus this here. Yeah, he died due to pharmaceutical drug overdose. This is overdose. And then look at Marilyn Monroe. Yes, she's famous also, right? She died because sleeping pill overdosed. I hope you all can see the slide, right? And then who doesn't
Yes, Mataji.
who doesn't know him? Why he died? Overdose of drug, right? Until now, it's a mystery. Whose mistake? Is the doctor's mistake or his mistake? We don't know. And then Whitney Houston, she's a very nice singer, but she also died because of overdose. I think she found dead in bathroom or something. So if people are happy, then why are they taking all these drugs? Because they are depressed. So which means money cannot buy anything, or probably in the search of money, they have lost something that even money cannot buy. So one time Guru Maharaj shared that he was preaching to somebody and somebody showed him, you know what is God? He took out the money. This is God. All right. So if money is God, then why people are dying, right? All right. So yeah, it doesn't give you ultimate happiness. Okay. So how do we do? How do we break this chain? All right. So like I said, staying nearby airport or in the airport is not sufficient for you to go to New York. You need to board the plane with the right prerequisites, like somebody said, ticket lah, visa lah, passport lah, right? So however it is, the mode of goodness is the first step towards understanding God. However, this awareness is very scarce now. Like I showed you before this, you are so much driven by the need to earn money, the achievement of KPI, achievement of money, achievement of material things in life. So we are lost, we are drowned in that. So this is a precarious condition that we are in and needs to be addressed with great concern. So that is why, I mean, it is a great concern because not so many people in this world are endeavoring towards that. So by the mercy of God and previous acharyas, mercy of Krishna, so we have some devotees going out, trying to do some menial activities and efforts. With some efforts, they are trying to educate the society at large. Okay, they are trying to make some menial efforts to make the science understandable. We are giving like free courses. All right, teachers are actually, doing their Zoom classes, even though we are not able to go to temples. So you see, Malaysia they are doing 4th batch of Gita Gyan, and then you have teens Gita Gyan, and you have kids Gita Gyan, you have adult Gita Gyan. So many classes are going on. There's so many ways, even though we are locked in houses, we are trying to be very creative and dynamic in reaching out, all because in the benefit of the welfare of the humanity, so they can transcend these 3 modes. Okay. However, whatever it is, whether in the mode of goodness you are liberated or not, the mode of goodness itself is the first step towards understanding God. All right. Even though it has become very scarce, we are still doing. Okay. We are not giving up. We are doing it. Okay. So basically, very basic things that we can give up to move forward to the mode of goodness is this avoidance of 4 abominable activities or 4 sinful activities. So there are freedom in things that we do, but it has to be regulated. All right. No meat eating, those are no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit relationship. Okay, no meat eating, basically no animal killing, no gambling. When you gamble, there's a tendency to cheat, the tendency to be dishonest, and a lot of crime activities also come from here. Intoxication also same. We have abuse cases, we have murder, robbery, all this coming from here. And no illicit relationship means no close contact with a female other than outside marriage, before marriage or outside marriage. Okay, so if you notice, these four things is not only meant for spiritual people. If everybody in this entire world can actually follow this, then we would not have problems like abortion problems, crime activities. So we will not have all this. All right. So these activities are very prominent in these two modes. Okay, remember, yeah, these activities are very prominent in these two modes, ignorance and passion. Okay, so if these are counteracted, these are managed, it will help us to cultivate the mode of goodness. So this is how we transcend. These are the basic things. Okay, this we actually covered in the regulated freedoms. Okay, so we will learn about 4 pillars, how this each and every activity here, it destroys one pillar in our life. Okay, so we will not go detail into that. Okay, apart from this, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no relationship, everything, no, Mataji, what is that we can do to, can we have a shortcut to transcend these 3 modes? Yeah, ada. All right, there is one good quality of Kali Yuga. I would like somebody to read this. Where I stopped. Shaktivel. Shaktivel?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna, thank you.
Mataji, the verse and the translation or only the translation?
Will do. Yeah.
My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the Transcendental Kingdom.
Yes, thank you. So apart from the 4 regulated activities, if you join this together, you will be able to transcend the 3 modes. When you transcend the 3 modes, then it frees you from the cycle of birth and death. All right, so what is that good quality here? Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in various ways, alone, with group, in outside. Of course, we are not doing that now, but just now today we did, right? It's very nice if you do that. All right, and that way you can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the Transcendental Kingdom. So this is explaining about how to transcend the 3 modes. Okay. So there's another explanation I can share here. You can read this for me, somebody. Siva Shankari, have you read yet? Sham, I can't see your mic. Sham, would you like to read for us, please? No, Siva Shankari?
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, thank you.
Even if one distributes 10 million cows in charity during an eclipse of the sun, lives at the confluence of the Ganges and Yamuna for millions of years, or gives a mountain of gold in sacrifice to the Brahmanas, he does not earn 100th part of the merit derived from chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so like I say, in the mode of goodness, a lot of people will do a lot of good things, like I shared about my sister, right? So you can do a lot of charity, austerities, penances, okay? But the merit of all those activities, you can derive by chanting Mahamantra. Even the benefit of chanting the Mahamantra, all the benefit, if you equivalent, it's not the benefits of performing all the other activities, it is not equivalent to Mahamantra. That means the benefit of chanting Mahamantra is much more. It surpasses all the benefits of all those 4 activities put together. Okay, you understand? Okay, so there's another one I would like to share. Shankirtana.
Yes, Mataji, I'm here. In the practice of Krishna consciousness, the devotee engages all the gates, the whole body, to reach the state of pure goodness. For example, the devotees uses the eyes and ears to read and hear the scriptures, the nostrils to smell flowers offered to the Lord, and the mouth to taste food offered to the Lord, and to chant the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Shankita. Very nice and very powerful. I like it. All right. So how a person in the Krishna consciousness engages his activities? Like this. He engages all the gates. Gates means what? 2 eyes, 2 ears, nostrils, mouth, genitals, anus. All these are engaged in the process. And that way we can transcend the 3 modes and achieve the pure goodness. So we have ignorance, passion, goodness, and transcending this we call transcendental platform or pure goodness platform. Okay, so this is the terms. All right, so you can use interchangeably. Okay, for example, he uses eyes and ears to read and hear the scriptures. So today, I believe that you all have engaged your 9 gates. You have seen the verses, you are reading it, and then you are hearing it. And then we also chanted in the beginning. So you have engaged that. So like this, it has to be go on continuously. So when this activity is constantly happening, we come to this, Krishna concluding here. Tasya, can we request you to read for us?
One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Yes, thank you. So this is how Krishna concludes it. When one engages in full devotional service, unfailing means not driven by some motivations, not interrupted or sekejap ada mood, sekejap no mood, sekejap ada time, sekejap no time. Yeah, so if we are not bound to these reasons, then we can engage in these activities unfailingly and we can transcend the modes of material nature. Okay, coming to the level of Brahman means understanding Krishna. Okay, so that's the basic explanation for that, comes to the level of Brahman. So how do we engage? Unfailing in all circumstances. Okay, there is a short story here I would like to play. This is a story of a hunter. Okay, it's narrated by Prabhupada. I think it's about 5 minutes. So after this, we are already at the end of the class. So you can enjoy this and then we'll have, if you stay on, we can do some questions and you can put your chat answers in the chat. Everybody can hear? Hold on. Okay, thank you.
When you take the animal to the slaughterhouse for killing, he cries. So why? Because he's feeling pain. He knows that I'm going to be killed. So there is soul. The soul is there. You don't think that soul is not there. Soul is there. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person who has realized God, he is samas sarveshu bhuteshu. He is equal to all living entities. He will feel pain even for cutting a tree. He will feel pain even he traverses over an ant. There is a story that one hunter, he was killing in the forest all kinds of animals and he was killing them half. So they were suffering too much severe pain. So Narad Muni was going in that way. He saw that these animals have been half killed and they are so much suffering. Who is doing that? So he searched out the hunter. He requested, sir, you are killing the animals. Why don't you kill them all at a time? We are killing half. They are suffering. You will have to suffer in that way. The hunter did not know that killing animals is sinful and he has to suffer again. So he said, sir, I am trained like this by my father. This is my profession. I do not know what is sin, but this is the first time I'm hearing from you that killing this animal, especially in this way, is very much sinful. So because he saw a saintly person, he got his sense. He asked him, then how I can get rid of this sinful life? The Narad Muni suggested that I shall give you the way how you can become free from this sinful life. So he made him a disciple and asked him to chant this Hare Krishna mantra and sit down on the bank of the Ganges. And the hunter said, "Sir, where shall I get my food?" Narad Muni said, "I will send you, don't bother, I will send you food." So the village people, when they understood that the hunter has become a saintly person, so everyone used to come and see him. Somebody was bringing some rice, somebody wheat, somebody some sweet, some fruit, some flour. So huge quantity of foodstuff was coming. So in this way, he became a perfect saintly Vaishnava. Later on, when Narad Muni came to see him, he was coming to receive the spiritual master, jumping over the road. So when the hunter, now he became Vaishnava, so Narad Muni and his friend Parvat Muni asked, "So why you are jumping?" He said, "Sir, there are so many ants, so I was trying to save their life." The same hunter who was killing animals one time, half dead, and was enjoying, is no more interested to kill even an ant. This is called saintly life. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Sama, equal to all living entities. Not that simply protection should be given to the human being.
Okay, so you saw that's the picture why the two munis are coming and this person is trying to sweep the floor because he's avoiding stepping on the ant. Okay, so that's about it. I actually prepared a Kahoot quiz, but I just couldn't get it up because it's a free version, right? So it's maximum 3 players. So do you have any questions at the moment, or can I ask some question? You can put your answers in the chat box. The benefit of leaving the holy place, you will go to the planets of the sages. If you recall the verse I showed, but like I said, living body in the holy place is just a physical setting, which is not sufficient. Your consciousness also has to be in the mode of goodness, whether you are appreciative of your position or your situation or your location, and then you can transcend it to a planet of sages. That's what Krishna said, right? Chapter 14. Forgot which number, but that's what. I forgot which verse number, but it's in the slide just now, right? Physical setting and your consciousness is also important. Go to the planet of sages. All right, and then passion, taking birth among people who are engaging in fruitive activities. People who are living in their body in the mode of ignorance, they will go to animal kingdom. So these 3 verses. Okay, so can I have you to put in one line those 3? If I die in a place like Vrindavan with the wrong mentality. Wrong mentality means you will be based on your activities in your entire life. Okay, if you are, it will go to passion among people who are born, you will be born among the people with the engagement in the fruitive activities. Okay, so it's very important. Pious person dies in sleep. That's ignorance, right? That's why it's very dangerous to die in sleep, because characteristic of mode of ignorance is sleepy, laziness, indolence, inactivity. Okay, but that's not the only factor that's going to determine. One is what are you thinking at the time of that. So if in the sleep you don't know how you control what you think, and therefore it will be determined based on your activity, all these impressions in your subtle body. So this will carry forward. Remember the verse, air, just like how the air carries the aroma. All right. It may, when I ask this to Guru Maharaj, it may, but it will not guarantee you to go to heavenly planets or planet of sages. It will not guarantee, because the higher planetary system is huge. You can fall into any of the planets, but it's certainly not so sure. All right. It's really depending on your activities of your life and the mental state at the time of death. So all these are combined factors. So it's not like if you do this, you will go here, because there's a lot of factors that involved. So don't worry. So this is same like how you expect to do a last minute study and sit for an exam, but the study should be your entire term or entire year. So that will be giving the culminative effect. Yes, somebody was asking a question. Tasya, is it?
Mataji, what if someone in, let's say, like in the hospital, he's
Mhm.
sleeping, but then his leg is painful. So when he's about to die, he's just thinking about his leg is painful. So what will be in his next life?
Yeah, like I say, it will be based on the activity that he performed his entire life. All right. So one,
Okay, Mataji.
what he's thinking at the time of death. So if you're pretty sure that he's only thinking about the pain, I'm sure there are a lot of, like flashback, everything will come. All right. So where is the focus at that point of time? And then the culminative factor of all the activities and impressions that we have our entire life. So that is why it's very important how we lead our life. Okay. Does the way we live the body have a connection with the three modes of nature? Or is mainly because of karma and both, Mataji? Yeah, like Krishna said in chapter 14, we are living body, there is a tendency we live the body under the three modes of nature, the ignorance, passion, and goodness. All right. Karma also plays a role, definitely. Like this is also related to the verse I say, like an air carries the aroma. So all these are inclusive, all these are combined factor. Okay, so it's both. Yes. Tasya Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Just now, you were talking about the mode of, the pradhana for atheistic nature.
Mm-hmm.
So can you please repeat what is the pradhana? What is the mode associated with all these atheists?
Atheists? You mean even if they are in the mode of goodness? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. My question is, how can atheists fall under the mode of goodness?
Okay. Did you hear the example that I gave for my sister? Did you hear that? Because if not, I can repeat that.
Yes. Can you please, sorry, can you please
Okay.
repeat?
So an atheist can be in the mode of goodness, as in he doesn't engage in abominable activities. He's got some moral values that he doesn't hurt himself or hurt others. And for example, like my sister, she doesn't go into intoxication. She doesn't gamble. She doesn't meat eat, and she doesn't cheat, and she's not like very materialistic. So when I shared this with my spiritual master, he said, yes, certainly she's in the mode of goodness, but that is not pure goodness. And then this is where you tie to the binding factor in the mode of goodness, where people are satisfied with the knowledge and happiness that they have. They are complacent. Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So that is good. I'm already a good human. All right. I do not cause harm to me, and I'm not causing harm to others. But because of this factor, it's binding them continuously. They will not find an impetus to move forward. All right, they will come back again, and probably in a good family or rich family or educated family, but they're going to come back. When they come back, they are going through the fourth process: birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is going to go on and on and on. And then I gave another example of Ravi Shankar, right? He's taken so many lives, as a musician. He's coming back as a musician. So until and unless we transcend this, even the mode of goodness, it's difficult to break free of this chain of birth and death cycle. And then somebody also mentioned until, was it Lakshmi mentioned until he realizes God?
Yes,
So this is the process. So mode of goodness, certainly a first step, certainly a milestone, but that's not the end. That is not should be our final target. All right. So atheists, they have knowledge. In I'm not sure which chapter 7, Krishna said there are 4 kinds of people will not surrender to God. One of it, those knowledge stolen by illusion. So these are atheists. All right. Like scientists, they do not believe in God. They have knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge. Definitely they're mode of goodness. But because their knowledge is stolen by illusion that they are the controller, there is no God, there is no need for me to surrender to God. So they will not surrender to God. And Krishna already clearly said in 1426, until and unless you transcend this, you're going to take that birth, death, old age, and disease. So can you see how it's tied together? Is that okay?
Yes, Master.
Yeah,
but I'm taking pramana from Perpetitions of Prabhupada and also sloka from Bhagavad-Gita 7.15, where the translation says that those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among the mankind, Naradama, as you said, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons do not surrender unto me. And also in the perpetuation of Bhagavad-Gita 10.34, Prabhupada says that these atheistic people does not fall under the mode of goodness. They fall under the mode of passion and a lot of ignorance.
Okay, so atheistic in this sense, those who outrightly reject God and engage in those activities, that's abominable. But there are people who have good, moral-based life. They don't cause harm. They don't cause disturbance to others. But when they do that, then definitely they are naradamas. They are foolish because they are causing disturbances. All right. So even though a person can say, I don't believe in God, but I'm doing everything okay. My life is good. I'm doing everything. I don't kill animal. All right. So these atheists, you need to compare whether they are meat eating or they are engaged in other activities like gambling, intoxication. So you can probe further on that. You can deliberate further on that to actually draw a line whether this atheist is in the mode of goodness or not. So here I give an example of a person that I know. She thinks that everything is fine. So why do I need to worship God? All right. So that is the difference we can make there. Is that okay, Tejas, Tashia? Other factors.
But if I'm not mistaken, based on what I read, like Prabhupada said, those fall under the mode of ignorance are atheists. That means they might be a very philosophical person. They might have a lot of intelligence. They might do all altruistic activities. They might not gamble and stuff like that. But ignorance is purely you don't even know who is Krishna. So that falls under the mode of ignorance.
Okay, so that is a characteristic of a person who is already who is an atheist. So they fall under the mode of ignorance. So that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, that is the understanding of Prabhupada's purport, right? Yeah, because this is the question that I asked my spiritual master, and this is the explanation that I got. So definitely they are in the 3 modes. So where exactly they fall is based on their activity, but I can get clarification on this in relation to Prabhupada's purport in that sense.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Okay, Tasha. Prahlad, your question? Prahlad, your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Actually, my question is in relation to my previous question,
which is
about dying in the holy place.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't. I when I mean dying in a holy place, I also mean dying in the presence of a holy person, like that. Like, so although he has the bad consciousness, because there is a story in the Padma Purana that says, once upon a time there were this couple, and this couple they lived with the king, and they were very bad people. So there's this the husband was, doing all kinds of sinful activities. The wife also was doing sinful activities, and they did every sinful thing that there was. And one day, the wife caught the husband. No, the wife was actually cheating, and she was enjoying with other men, and she didn't want her husband to find out. So what she did, she killed her husband in the middle of the night. And she killed her husband, and not long after that, she also died due to some sickness. And when they were brought before Yamaraj made them, after suffering in hell, both of them became birds. So the husband became, birds. The husband became a vulture, and the wife became a parrot. But I do not know, due to some arrangement of karma, although they were given the bodies of animals, they could still have their consciousness of a human.
Remember.
Yeah, so they had the consciousness of a human and the memories of their past birth. So it happened that this vulture happened to see this parrot, and he knew that the parrot was the wife. And he also knew that his wife killed him in the previous life. So he wanted to take revenge. So what he did, he went and he was flying, he was, chasing the parrot. And it so happened there were two hunters. I mean, there was one hunter, and the hunter saw this, and he shot both the parrot and the vulture. And the arrow cut off both their heads. And it so happened that both their heads fell into the skull of a devotee who was once, regularly reciting the Bhagavad-Gita, and he was a very great devotee.
It fell into a house of a devotee, is it?
The skull of a devotee. After he had left his body, his skull was near the river Ganges, and the heads of these two birds fell into that skull. And previously, this devotee was a very great person. So after the two birds left their body, when they came before Yamaraj again, Yamaraj said that they can go to Vaikuntha, and this couple, they were like very shocked, because we have not suffered enough yet, we have not suffered enough, and we didn't do anything right. And their consciousness at the time of death was also, like revenge. They wanted revenge. So therefore it was wrong. But still, Yamaraj told them, because they had come in contact, with contact of a devotee, and they died near the Ganges, all their sins are destroyed. They can attain.
But the devotee was already dead, right? I mean, it's just the carcass or something, right?
It's the carcass. I do not know. The story was there. So I'm sure if the devotee was alive, it will be way more, much more potency there. But the point is, they still attain Vaikuntha even with a bad consciousness, with the wrong consciousness, but they came in contact, in the right circumstances. So would that be applicable for us? Like, especially like a mentality of vengeance and revenge is like a really bad mentality. It's worse than having.
I don't know how to tie that. You are saying you read it in Padma Puran, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is because our understanding is that when you are having this kind of qualities, vengeance and stuff, this is already not in the mode of goodness, right? And if at all there is a causeless mercy of a devotee, it is expected that you are coming back as somebody with the facility to perform devotional services, and then that's how we move forward, right? That is the understanding generally. So this is isolated case. I'm not so sure. This one we need to get explanation of somebody.
Yeah, and also like there are many holy places, like certain places in Jagannath Puri and in Vrindavan, where if you die there, you will attain liberation, even though you're not a devotee, you may be an atheist, you still attain liberation. So those places, like, just it gives us that guarantee, despite our mentality like that. So if the circumstances is right, then will we get that upliftment to the higher planetary systems?
Because from the explanation that I received, the consciousness is more important than the physical setting. All right, so it's probably you will go to heavenly planet because of the credit of the place that you are in, but you're definitely going to come back. But this is not called transcendence yet.
Okay, Mataji. But so you may go to a heavenly planet, but it is still some form of upliftment than your current.
Yeah, that is definitely going to the verse, right? If you can recollect the verse, Krishna say they will attain the planet of sages, but these are still on the material platform, right? So definitely after the pious credit is exhausted, they will come back. So the circumstance they will be in their next birth probably will be more conducive for further
Okay.
practice.
So let's say we, after having this knowledge, right? Because I have seen people asking these questions and they have not, received an answer yet. So they ask, okay, so if this is the benefit I get, what if I commit suicide in such a place? What if I, commit suicide in the presence of a devotee? I go and commit suicide in those particular places in Jagannath Puri. Will I still attain that destination?
No, I cannot exactly quote from what scripture, but committing suicide is abominable from the point of Vedic. It's abominable. Because this one time somebody asked this exact question to Guru Maharaj, can I commit suicide because I want to go to Krishna? Guru Maharaj was so angry. You shouldn't do that. You will come back as ghost or something. Definitely not. It's not going to help you to elevate to higher planets. Definitely not.
Okay. But then if commit suicide is okay, it's a sin because you are mistreating the body that Krishna has given us. But nonetheless, in places like Chaitanya Charitamrita, there have been many circumstances where a lot of people say, I'm going to commit suicide because of this. I'm going to commit suicide because I didn't get the Lord's mercy. So is that considered like committing suicide, or is that a different situation like that? And actually, I'm not sure about the past time, but actually someone did do that. Because
Really?
I didn't, yeah. I do not know. I really forgot.
Because I remember what you're trying. I mean, I can relate what you're trying to say. In the Vaishnava songs, they will say, I will take life, something like that, right?
But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think someone actually did that. He jumped in the river and yeah, because he did not get some form of mercy or something like that. He actually did that. I do not know how far this is true, but I've heard it in a class in Mayapur. So still, they committed suicide. So what happens to them? Do they become ghosts, or do they go back to Godhead?
Were they're having some swarup from their spiritual world?
I don't know about their swarup, but they were devotees. They were great devotees in the material world, and somehow they were not satisfied with certain things. They thought that I didn't get this mercy, I'm very fallen like that, and therefore he actually committed suicide.
If I'm not mistaken, the nectar of instruction say you have to have utsaha, nishya, dhairya, right? You have to have the endeavor, the enthusiasm, the patience and determination. So I think we should go back to that. We couldn't be impatient for not getting something. This is what I feel. So probably that is, great personalities from the past. Like for now, I cannot recall who is this person, what is the circumstance, or what's the destination of the person. But definitely we are not qualified to follow in their footsteps in that sense.
Okay, Mataji.
So we can get more clarification on that. What is our take on this kind of stories? Okay. Any other question? Or you can even share your thoughts or whatever you have read in relation to our class today. Oh, it's already 1:12. I think we should end the class now. Any other questions before we end the class? I'm sorry, my Kahoot didn't work. So.
No, Mataji.
Okay, so is that okay, Prala? Did we actually clarify most of it?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. All right, so if there's nothing else, thank you so much for staying and for the questions and for all your responses to the questions in the class. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.